Okay, so now let's talk about the components of a programming language. Yeah, so just like any building, anything that is being called a building, it should at least have some holes in the roof. Without these two, uh, then I guess I don't think it can. It should even be called a building. So same applies to a programming language. Something that is being called a programming language needs to have some sort of components, or maybe would rather say building blocks, elements, whichever word you can use. But the idea is the same. So every programming language has got some some of these. In fact, uh, these components have listed below here, starting from the variables, the comments, data types, functions, and control structure. It is a mandatory for every programming language. Anything that has been called a programming language should have these. Uh, okay, there are many other components, but these are mandatory in whichever programming language you will go to, whatever programming language you'll be learning. Uh, you should be expecting to be taught about these topics. If maybe I don't know your mentor or your whoever will be teaching you in future, don't talk about these topics. Then just know that he has skipped. And one more thing now, uh, when you look at these components, the idea is always the same in whichever programming language you go. The idea behind variables is always the same. The idea behind comments is always the same. The idea behind data types, functions, and control structures is all the same. The concept is the same, even the explanations. But what makes a difference is the implementation because of different syntaxes. I mean, the syntaxes because of different rules in that programming language. Uh, let's talk about variables. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with these variables. Every programming language should have variables. The idea is the same, but the implementation is different. The way you handle variables in Python is not the same way we are going to be handling variables in C programming language, but the idea is the same. Uh, Even though there are some programming languages which have some additional components, yeah. So uh, the advantages of knowing these components is that even as you will be learning some other languages, the moment you start learning, you should be targeting these components first of all. That's what I do. I'll first target them to understand these components. Once I understand them, I'll now uh, target to learn the additional components because some other programming languages have additional components which are not on this list. So it is very important to know about these components. So I will talk about all these components, including some other additional components which are found in C programming language. So I'll talk about these topics in future with variables. Not even in future, in the coming lessons, the comments, the data types, these are very important. You should not ignore these. A programming language is nothing without these components. It should not even be called a programming language. It can be called something else. So I wanted to explain that, but I think today I'll talk about the functions. I'll, I'll introduce the functions so that you can understand this hello world program which we made in the previous lesson. But I think this is it for now for this video. In the next video, I'll talk about the functions. I'll just introduce the functions. It will be just a brief explanation.